Hey, Morgan and Lena, it's Rob and Jess for RHAP. Thanks for making some time to talk to us. Disappointed to see you both go out on the race. Let's start off with this past episode and going through Slovenia. What was the biggest issue for the two of you?
Navigating in the city center.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Now,
crazy, but it seems to get us every single time.
Yeah.
I think as we've made it into city centers, it's very hard to see, but a lot of the roads are one-way streets, and you'll like see teams like walking or running to their next activity, and you're like, we'll be there soon as we find this parking garage that only has this little entrance like going into the ground. But once we find that, we'll be right next to you.
yeah, I think throughout the race, we really struggled to navigate once we got into the city centers. And between language differences, just having to do very detailed navigation in places where there's construction, things are hidden, it's just tough. And we didn't have anyone to tail most of the time. So it was hard for us.
Yeah, I would love to know. We saw you this week. They gave you manual transmission for the first time. Can you tell us a little bit about, did you do anything to prepare for that, or was that a challenge?
I don't think anybody should go on the show and just try to drive stick shift. I did quite a few hours of learning how to drive stick shift, but definitely in comparison to the other teams, it might have been honestly one of the, if I had to guess, one of the first, second, or third times in Amazing Race history when you're down to like 5 teams and only one team had to learn how to drive stick shift for the show. Every other team stick shift driving was not adding to the stress of the day because they had a driver that either grew up on stick shift or currently still drove a stick shift car. So we were put at like a higher stress point getting a manual transmission in comparison to our peers.
I would love to hear a little bit more about your relationship because it was, I would say, spicy at times on the show. And I would just love to hear. And listen, like I have siblings, so I know what this is like. So, do you feel like that? Did we get to see a little bit of what it's like all the time for the two of you, or did the Amazing Race change that dynamic?
I think if you were to ask our parents, we were very well portrayed in terms of how we normally interact with each other. But I think, unfortunately for fans, they're seeing like that 5% of time where we're being spicy and snippy, and not like the 95% of the time where we were really having a blast together. So for us, in my point of view, before Lena talks, it's like we are friends. We've always talked every day, but it's like I love her. I don't have to like her. And I think in this race, and if anyone has siblings, like you get it. But for on this race, it's like I grew so many reasons for why I don't only love her, but like she's so kick-ass and I like spending time with her. And when you're stuck with someone for so many days, 24 hours a day, um, you really have to love and like that person to make it through this experience. So I think overall it was good for us.
Yeah, I mean, me and Morgan had a absolute blast while we were racing. I think that our way of communicating is definitely, we use Corey because Corey liked to use the word spicy on the race. So me and Morgan definitely have a spicier tone with each other, but also like we're not married, we're stuck with each other for life. We've been stuck with each other, so we don't have to put all the like frill on these things. Like when we're in the kitchen at home and Morgan's like, pass me the orange juice, she doesn't have to talk to me the way like a couple person would talk to me. She doesn't be like, my God, could you just pass me the orange juice? She's like, Lena, give me the orange juice. And there's no quarrel with that, So I think people look at our way of communicating and they're like, wow, they're a little snippy at each other, but like we're just trying to get through the activity. In the places where like I needed Morgan to support me, like she was right there on the sidelines going, Lena, get into this. And that's what was most important for us. So we had a lot of moments where Morgan and I were really like out of our comfort zone and verbally expressing like how happy we were to be in that moment with each other. So yeah, we're spicy, but if you have a sister, you understand. If you have a sibling, you get it.
Mm-hmm.
And look, we're from the South. We talk real loud and and we yell. Like that's how we talk to each other. So to see it on TV is not surprising. I actually thought we were on our best behavior, if I'm being honest. So,
Yeah. You don't have any complaints from us.
Yeah, it was entertaining. It was good
Yeah.
television.
We agree.
We enjoyed the banter. My mom actually called us halfway through the season and she was like, you guys are like the only team that refer to each other as like Morgan, Lena. And when I'm watching the season, I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like,
No
every
one else
single
says each other's names, and all we do is yell each other's names. So
it's like, come on, Dad. Two of us had good lines in the show. Come on, Dad, and Morgan. Yeah.
So I would love to know about your history with The Amazing Race prior to becoming contestants. Like, what were you big fans, and how did you decide that this was something you wanted to do together?
I was obsessed with The Amazing Race. I started watching when I had this like sad internship in college and I didn't know what to do for like 2 months of my life. Like I heard a lot of people, they were like, how did she watch so many seasons? I didn't watch 25, 27 seasons once I was casted on the show. I had already seen every like episode that was in existence. Morgan and I decided I want to apply. Morgan was literally, our relationship made the most sense for the show. The show is all about growing or evolving or like acknowledging where you are with somebody and trying to work through that on the show. And so like we had the most chemistry for casting. And I think once we turned in that application video, it was incredibly clear that this dynamic was great for TV. And Morgan's seen a lot of episodes with me over the years because I definitely took the show home and was like, everybody needs to watch the show with me and my family. And they were like, what is it? I was like, it's The Amazing Race. I was like, I'm going to be on it one day. And me and Morgan got to do it together, which was probably like, as we get older, this will probably be the coolest experience of our entire lives. And we got to share it together.
Like Jessica, I thought she was crazy. I'm like, are you serious right now, Lena? Like, trying to be a big, a supportive big sister. She's like, Morgan, she doesn't ask for much. So she's like, this is the one thing that I want to do. I want to do it with you. Are you going to do it? And can you commit? And she was very scared that I was going to pull out last minute after we were casted. So, for me, it was like, I wanted to make her dream come true, but then it became my dream too. And it was really beautiful.
One of the things from this season that I don't feel like I have a great sense of like which of the teams are vibing and which of the teams are not really vibing. So which are the teams that you had the better relationships and maybe the not as great relationships with from the race?
So we vibe with a lot of the teams. Our cast is very close. Like we talk every day, all of us.
Good group chat.
Yeah, for Lena and I, we were very close with Todd and Ashley, with Steve and Anna Lee, with Greg and John. Like those were, am I missing anyone that was kind of in our core? Like who we like, the people we hung out with were people that we really just like spending time with, and we love Corey and Rob.
Mm-hmm.
So we spent a lot of time with them. We butted heads a bit more with Robin and Chelsea. But to us, like we just spent time with the people that we really loved interacting with and learning more about. And like, it's funny because post race, like Joe and Ian live in New York, so we get to spend time together. So I've gotten to know them much better.
I've seen Todd and Ashley and met their kids who are all taller than me.
Wow.
So like our relationships on the race are very much real outside. Like I see Greg and Corey and Joe and Ian all the time in New York. So it's very cool. But for the most part, like our cast was amazing. We were very, very thankful for how it was casted.
It's already hard enough to run the race. So to run the race with people that it's hard to communicate with or enjoy your time with just makes it more complicated. So we were really grateful that our casting directors did such an incredible job at bringing this like diverse group of people together that it was just a joy to learn more about their lives and also watch them race.
By the way, Morgan, I was really excited to see so many New York teams this season. We've had kind of a shortage in recent years, so very excited to see a lot of representation.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
So I would love to know, was there anything that we didn't see that you wish they had aired?
What? It's only 90 minutes. Like you think so many things are like gonna make it on there. Like we knew that most of our episodes, like what was gonna be on there from us because we were fighting for our lives. And so we knew that the back part of our day was definitely gonna get some airtime. But there are definitely like there were moments between teams where it's like hard to see the dynamics of teams because it's not shown so much on the show, or like it doesn't make sense for the storyline. There's like there are moments where it is crystal clear why some people don't get along together, but it's not there on the show. And like, I think that that's the harder thing to see when you don't see any of the footage. You're just kind of confused at why people are hanging out with each other or talking to each other.
Obviously, I wish because we had so many chaotic moments, that's what's portrayed. I wish they showed us hustling more. Like people always ask about timing, how long did things take? Like if they showed how long it took us to complete tasks outside of the mural and the vinyling, we were wicked fast. And so like I wish they showed how fast we were actually able to complete a lot of the challenges, because I think the fans would see us really as like real contenders if they saw how fast we were really completing stuff in comparison to the other teams.
Yeah, I think a good example of that is like the 3-dimensional photos. When we went to go do those dolls, we finished that task in about under 10 minutes. And that was what was so frustrating for us, is like we were at the murals just sweating and basically about to cry our eyes out because we couldn't finish this task. And we go to the dolls. I mean, Morgan almost lost an eye, but we go to the dolls and we were like, this is...
I forgot too until it aired.
Yeah, I was like, this is a cakewalk. Like, I mean, this can't even be an activity. Like when Morgan did the coins, I thought she was coming down to get a pen. Like all the teams turned around to try and like figure it out with each other.
The NBA.
Yeah. By the time they finished the sentence, hey, do you guys want to work with each other? Morgan was already rappelling down the building. Like, I was like, why would she rappel if she needs a pen? Like, and they have that on camera. I was like, I'm so confused right now. And then she was like, I'm done. And I'm like, how? We had a lot of moments where we were just flying through challenges, or where we started challenges with a group and we were the first ones out of there.
Your race got started on such an interesting note back in episode number 1, where you went for the express pass and then went to go and eat the bugs on the very first episode of the season. Could you just tell us a little bit about what that was like?
It was chaotic. No, I mean, it was crazy. When we got to Thailand, when you get to the airport, there's an automatic post where you click a button, it tells you which capsule to go to. Everyone else's capsules were right in front of us. Ours was like slot 60. So we're sprinting. We get in our car. We've written, actually have my notebook here, like writing, like in Thai, like what we need help with, that we're on a game show, etc. And he's like, I got it. And he starts flying. We made it there.
He was on a game show.
Yeah, he was. He got us there 15 minutes earlier than everybody else. So when we got to the clue, we were like, we've got to go for it. What was shocking for us was just how many bugs there were. Because we're looking at the plate, we're like, okay, we're going to eat it. Like, okay, fine. In 5 seconds, we decided we're going to do it. But when they were like, it's a full plate each, I don't know how much you can get it from TV.
Right.
They were American-sized dinner plates.
Yeah.
On the plane, we've been traveling for over a day already, and we're shoving. So for us, it was just like, we wanted to show the world, like, we were going to go for it. We are here to compete. And that was without a question, but Lena wouldn't stop talking. So that's when I'm like, Lena, shut up, keep eating. Like, she kept talking to the camera. And I was like, we need to actually keep moving, because we had a chance to be in first, but it was difficult for us to find the boat. So afterwards, so it was kind of our put up or shut up moment. And we didn't want to be seen as the girls that are just here to be here. We wanted to be
too girly to eat a plate of bugs.
Right.
I think also, if you look at what happened in Slovenia, I think when they created that bug challenge, especially when we all left from the airport at the same time, the whole idea was to have multiple teams eating this plate of bugs so that it became a food eating challenge. And so part of what me and Morgan had to do is we had to put down enough bugs to where when the next team got there, it was very crystal clear that it wasn't worth picking up a plate. So we were eating at the speed of light.
All right. Well, I know you have a lot of press to do today, so thank you for making some time to talk with us. And hopefully we can talk again in the future, and all the best outside the race, okay?
You guys, great to meet you.
Okay, take care, Morgan.
You as well, thanks.
Okay.
Bye.